So you've named a lot of pretty prominent companies and you've worked with a lot of them. How have the CEOs and founders changed as they go from being small and struggling at YC to being a unicorn?
Yeah. So this is one thing. It was kind of interesting because I was going. As I went for a walk recently with someone on our product team who was asking me this question about: do you have to be like superhumanly determined to start a company? Because if you read the press, it sounds like unless you were like programming your first computer at age 8 and like winning chess competitions at 12 and just like generally taking over the world by 16, that you've got like no chance of making it. And the one thing that YC really showed me is a couple of things. One, people change immensely. Like the process of building a company and building a startup puts a tremendous amount of just stress and pressure on you in various different ways. And there are many, many people who go into it sort of seeming, at least on surface level, because that's all you have to go on is judging people on surface level, like maybe timid or introverted or conflict averse or whatever it is, and then like 4 or 5 years later, they're sort of like these like charismatic. They're speaking at conferences. They just have an authority about them. And that absolutely happens. So if you don't feel like you have the set of skills that you're seeing for every successful founder on the news, just know that people change a lot. And then the second thing from YC is it's really, really hard to know who's going to change. And often we would interview companies or founders who seem to have kind of all this intangible stuff that it takes to build a company, but the first kind of sign of difficulty, the first like time they churned a customer, they're just like shutting it down and going back to work at Google or Facebook, which is totally fine. But it's just like the point more is it's really hard to know before you get into it. Like, do I have sort of the determination or kind of whatever it takes to keep going? And the truth is, and going on over here, the other truth of it is that like how much you need personally to make your company work is actually just a small fraction of what determines the outcome. Like a large chunk of what determines the outcome is just, did you pick an idea that there's a good market for? Is that market growing? Are there existing solutions? Like, does Google release an actually really great product in your space or not? Like, all of these things influence your own outcome or your own sort of trajectory. And so you kind of need enough determination to work on the idea to get it to the stage where it starts taking off. But how much that might be is a little unknowable in advance.